Nearly every state in the U.S. is moving toward reopening, and this weekend, New Orleans will join that list. As we continue our series, Parenting in a Pandemic, this week, we are headed to the Big Easy to meet Mom Nikisha Thomas. She's the mother of 2 young daughters, and she says even though restrictions are being eased, at this point, she does not feel safe taking her 2 young ones anywhere.
I actually saw a couple of videos on Facebook, and the still shots, it's so beautiful, the still shots of New Orleans, but it's also like there's never a time where the streets are completely clear.
Born and raised right here in New Orleans, Nikisha Thomas has never seen her city's streets void of people.
It's so weird because the days are beautiful and the scenery is perfect to go out there, and no one's out there.
The Bourbon Street she's familiar with is typically filled with tourists and natives alike reveling in the Big Easy. But it's that same spirit of togetherness that has led to her hometown being deemed a hot spot during the pandemic.
Initially, it took me a long time to kind of grasp what was going on. I actually kind of went into like a little shell.
Fat Tuesday fell on February 25th. The coronavirus was already making its rounds in the U.S. before national leaders and the Centers for Disease Control warned of what was to come.
When we were told that it was a Friday at work, that we weren't coming back to work for a month, the school was closing down, I just kept telling my mom, like, I can't wrap my head around, this. And I'm like, it's much more serious than we are taking it.
Visits to her mother's house on Mondays for red beans and rice, seafood platters on Fridays with the family, daiquiris during Saturday's crawfish boils are all traditions snatched away for now.
Every day I call my mom on Facebook Messenger, the video feature, or my sister, and sometimes we even gather in together on a conference call.
Her precious daughters are enjoying their extra time at home. Little Aja, she says, has been even more clingy than usual, sticking by her mother's side, following her every move.
I think she's kind of struggling to process, like, why can't we do the normal things that we normally do? It's a tough one, especially when you see the disappointment in their face.
But one of Thomas's biggest concerns is her father, who has a brain injury and is left virtually alone in a nursing home.
He's not very verbal, but we can tell with his nonverbal communications that he understands that we're there.
And he understands when they're not around.
To have him there all alone, it's definitely tough because, I don't want him to feel alone, but it's kind of one of those things that you can't do anything until you can do something.
So many of you with loved ones in the nursing homes right now can totally relate to that. Well, tomorrow morning, as we wrap up our series, Parenting in a Pandemic, we're bringing it on home to Jacksonville. You'll meet a local nurse who says she is just terrified about bringing the virus home to her family, but it's a risk she's willing to take to help others.